Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Elevated Conversations about Health and Healing. Ellie Anderson here, your post, episode 2 today on peptides. What do we need to know? They're everywhere, and I'm excited to unpack this. This is a new offering at Elevated, and I think it's really critical because they are one of the most fastest and rapidly growing and rapidly marketed biohacks that I'm seeing in the functional space with the people that I follow. And I want to walk through with you guys what are they? What are they doing and why are they appealing to anyone on their health journey? Because it can be helpful. It can help shape the journey where you're at and where you want to go. And so we want to unpack that with you today. I also just want to take a second to hold in prayer anyone in the Kirk family, anyone who's lost a loved one due to gun violence. I I think our amendment rights are really critical. But I also think that someone lost a life and we need to and take a minute and just pause and recognize how blessed we are, and how important it is to keep fighting for our amendment rights and to keep fighting for truth and to keep fighting for God's truth to prevail. And, sometimes when you preach and talk truth, it's met with a lot of resistance. Someone is easily triggered, probably because they know some things are not right. Those are difficult conversations to have. And as someone in the trauma-informed space, I like to be aware when someone is triggered. I also like to recognize that there's a reason why there's a trigger. And usually we need to do a little bit of digging and self-reflection to figure out why that is, why it generates those feelings or that type of reaction within our body, especially if it's one of anger. I always dig into when I get angry or defensive about something because usually that's rooted in some sort of core wound that needs a little bit of healing and addressing. My favorite way to do that is with Dr. Bob Schutz, Restore the Glory podcast. If you don't already subscribe to that, it is so beautiful. I think we all deserve to be healed in an intentional way. And I think if we were more healed and more kind, the world would definitely be a different place. We just have to keep fighting the good fight and running the race and keeping the faith. And I'll continue to do that. And I invite you to do the same. And you can do that. And you can fight the good fight and run the race and keep the faith and stay true to your faith, beliefs, and morals. Um, just like Charlie did in a way that was kind and conversational instead of um, hurt, anger, and actions you can't take back. So I'm holding everyone who was there in prayer, and I'm holding Erica in prayer. Don't know her. I wasn't like an overly zealous follower of him, but I loved his stuff. I loved how he stayed rooted in Christ. And it's just a huge heaviness when anyone gets murdered. So I just value life. And I think that's one thing when you value life, it's hard to see it be taken. So I know that there's been stuff here in Minnesota too, and my heart aches and my kids, it's like explaining to my kids what it is to die for your faith and what it is to be a martyr, because it really feels like that's the way the world is going. And I said it when I was young. I've always been very zealous for my faith, like what a gift it would be to be a martyr. You don't realize how many people that impacts when you have a spouse and you have children, right? But to set that example to them, to just be so rooted in biblical truth and continue to walk out defending faith in the Lord and the way He designed our bodies, and to cast out the way we have validated people feeling broken the way that God created them. We have to keep fighting. We have to keep fighting. I was pondering last week, 2 weeks ago. I just was like, okay, Lord, am I supposed to quit doing social media? I'm tired. I'm so tired of the things that I see. I'm so tired of feeling like the worth of a post is based on how many likes I get. Like I was in this place of I think I should be done. And my husband's like, I think you should pray about it, because immediately I'm like, I'm gonna be done with social media. And he's like, oh, you've worked really hard. You have people who follow along and like what you have to say. Are you sure that's what you want to do? And I'm like, oh, it's so time consuming, and I just get really down on myself sometimes. It's kind of this random reality. And he's like, I think you need to pray about it. And the Lord just so fiercely poured into my heart on day like 5 of praying about this. Because I literally thought it's like, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a boss. I'm going to get rid of social media and I'm going to have so much more time on my hands and it's going to be so good. And the Lord was super fierce with me on day 5 of prayer. And he was like, this is not for you. The likes, not for you. Validation, not what I want you to seek. I want you to help women see that they're not broken. Their body's trying to protect them and it's fighting for them every single day. And I designed it that way. And I want you to continue to create content for kids so that they don't feel like I placed them in the wrong body and their body is not broken. And I want you to keep posting about how this is not about you. This is about my kingdom and bringing Christ back to the center of holistic health. And that's the mission I gave you. That's the mission I gave you in the coffee shop when you talked to Father Mike Schmitz 7 years ago now. That's a mission you have to keep fighting for. And so I said, okay, I have my marching orders, so I'm not going anywhere. But when the world gets heavy, I imagine his cross and I just trust and surrender it all to him. And I'm just praying for everyone deeply impacted. God is good. He can't be outdone. So let's get into it, shall we? Sorry, I just have to say something about that. And now we're going to go on to peptides, the pep of the tides. I want to talk about why peptides are such a buzzword right now. We're seeing them everywhere from athletes to moms to lawsuits. They're all over for good reason, obviously, but I want to have a educational conversation with you. This is not medical advice. We do offer peptides at Elevated Integrative Wellness now. So if you're interested in seeing if peptides are right for you in a medical conversation, feel free to book a consult with Bridget. The cost of the peptide is included in the first consult, and the follow-ups are just the cost of the peptide. I think that these things need to be monitored, and it's so important. But we're gonna unpack what peptides are, why injections are often the gold standard versus ingestion. And we're going to highlight 5 of the peptides that we offer in our clinic and how we like to work with them. So peptides, just high level overview, you guys. Peptides are short chains of amino acids. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein. Some of you may, like, as we start to talk about this, some of this might come back to you. You have complete proteins and incomplete proteins. Animal products are almost always the complete proteins. Incomplete proteins are different plant products, plant products that you can pair together to get a full protein because they'll have all of the essential amino acids. Is this coming back? Is it coming back? I think we learned this in like health class, maybe 9th grade. And so when you ingest protein, the body, your gut, the pH in your gut breaks down the protein into amino acids, and then it takes those amino acids and it uses them in the body for the enzymatic reactions it needs them for. So think of peptides like a pre-assembled direction or text message that your body sends to itself. I don't even think like text message is not the right one because it's actually directing. So the text message might say, hey, let's repair that muscle. And with the peptides, you're able to do that. The immune system will be like, hey, I need more of this peptide to work to ramp up the way that I'm supposed to. Another one, hey, I'm full, let's burn fat. I think it's important to note that our body makes peptides naturally with the food that we ingest. But with age, stress, illness, being chronically sick, just like anything, those peptides, that protein, the digestion, oftentimes because when you're under that amount of stress or as we age, our pH within our gut changes. So the way it breaks down and then reassimilates those peptides also change. Are you following? So this is probably one of the biggest differences between oral and injected, but I'm going to get to that in a second. It matters to know that peptides are naturally occurring within the body. Supplementing peptides is like handing your body a megaphone. It's going to take those messages and amplify them because it's not going to be trying to put together, hey, let's repair that muscle. Hey, let's ramp up the immune system. Hey, let's burn fat while running low. You're giving your body what it needs. You're giving it the pre-assembled directions, blueprint, text message to do that. Okay? So peptides, naturally occurring. They are chains in specific sequences of amino acids that direct and dictate different functions within the cellular body, within your body and within your cells. Makes sense? Yes? Okay. Wow, I've been going to burn boot camp and I find myself saying makes sense. Say yes. Because that's all they say. So if anyone here or listening goes to burn, makes sense, say yes? Yes. Okay. So let's talk about the difference between oral and injected because this is one thing I'm seeing oral ingested peptides everywhere. There's definite pros to it. Easy to get, easy to swallow, no needles. Seem easy enough to access. They might be a little less expensive. You guys, what did I just tell you peptides were? They are naturally occurring, assimilated chains of amino acids that your body puts together. This is the same argument, and for those of you watching, you can see I'm doing little quotes with my fingers, air quotes, that we went through with collagen, okay? You can take in collagen. This is the same with NAD+, because it's a peptide. We're going down this route. If you ingest a peptide chain sequence, if you ingest collagen, which is a sequence chain of peptides, your body breaks it down into those building blocks and it will put them back together and direct it where it's needed based on what the gut can do. And remember, I just said that's affected by age, stress, illness, etc. So almost every peptide you're taking, some brands are better than others. If you take them orally, they're not going to be directing your body and your cells the way that you want them to. 90 to 99% of the time, and I'm not going to name any brands in this podcast. What I'm saying is this is the argument that has been going on for a long time, even with vaccines for ingestion versus injection. When you inject something, so we're talking about peptides, it gets straight into the bloodstream, tissues, it's soaking in. There's way fewer defenses. You're not going through the gut or pH. It's not breaking anything down. For anything injected, it's predictable, effective and long lasting. Those defenses within your gut aren't breaking that peptide down. That sequence is being delivered in the exact blueprint way you want it to be delivered to your cells. This makes injectable peptides much more efficient at getting a job done in the body. And we see this with semaglutide, which is a peptide that they've taken, made a prescription, Wegovy, I think, right? Ozempic. But they're doing it at such a high dose. It's not great for the body. So we're making the same understanding of when someone ingests a toxin like mercury, we're talking about with vaccines. If we ingest mercury, the body has natural defenses and natural mechanisms to break stuff down. When we inject mercury, we don't have those defenses in place to break it down. It gets right into the bloodstream and absorbs right into the tissues. We want that for peptides. We do not want that for mercury. Are we following? We're on the same path? So that's why as a provider, I very much prefer utilizing peptides with injections. And I take NAD+ as the peptide of choice for myself. And I feel it immediately. Orally, it would never have the same effect in my body as it has injecting it. Make sense? Say yes. So you just need to realize that injection mechanism makes peptides much more effective, much more predictable. They're delivering that text message and then carrying it out. Uptick the metabolism. Turn on the satiety. Heal that area of the body. Calm the inflammation in the gut. Different peptides, different amino acid sequences do different things within your body. So let's talk about the ones we have at Elevated. I'm not going to take too much of your time with this because I think it's critical. Do your own research. One of the coolest ones I think we have is CJC 1295. CJC, I think, is one of the best alternatives to semaglutide in addition to tirzepatide. It stimulates your body to release more of its own growth hormone. This is the hormone in pregnancy during trimester 2 that helps you start to feel like your best self. You're going to get deeper sleep. You're going to have faster recovery. You're going to be able to build muscle. It's going to uptick your metabolism so you lose weight. That's not the primary part of it, but because it's so great at building muscle and enhancing that metabolism, the weight loss is just a happy side effect. It's not working in the same way as a tirzepatide or something like that. And it's anti-aging. So it's like turning up the dimmer switch on your body and on your body's repair and recovery system and growth system. So I really, really like CJC. It's a really great way, especially too if you like are prone to injury. Wow, it just really builds that up so, so, so nicely. Then we have BPC 157. This one, you guys, for Crohn's, colitis, GI inflammation, it's a go-to. I will say I'm back to seeing clients. And we have added so many amazing things into Elevated over the summer. So if you have not check out our website. I've linked it below. I saw the sweetest little girl. Her mom probably is listening to this. And you know what I loved? I love that I didn't, and I don't want to say just because muscle testing is so valuable, it's so affordable, and it makes such a huge difference in people's lives. But I felt like I had almost every tool in the kit that I needed to help this little girl who was diagnosed with Crohn's to find intentional healing. Guess what? We're going to start with the muscle testing and we're going to see what the body is up against. We're going to do a standard process biome test. We're going to get that back in 5 weeks. And I'm going to see what beneficial bacteria your gut is missing. And hey, if when you go in for your scopes again in October, you're still inflamed, we can start you on the BC157 peptide, BPC157 peptide. And we're going to decrease that inflammation in your gut and help you find intentional healing. These are micro doses of these peptides too, you guys. They're not massive amounts like you're seeing with those Ozempic that are causing a major flush in the body and a major flare of probably pre-existing things going on. This is intentional healing done in an integrative way. I am so excited. So yeah, the BPC 157, it really helps with gut and inflammation. It's going to reduce inflammation for people that have been in accidents, PTSD, rigid fascia. This is such a good one for you. You're going to have better ligament and tendon repair. It's just so cool. So it's like just having a built-in repairman show up in your cells and just fix what's broken, decrease inflammation, and get the body out of a chronically inflamed state. Who wants to be less inflamed? Me. NAD plus, my personal favorite. It's a coenzyme found in every single cell. It helps fuel your mitochondria. It boosts mental clarity, energy, longevity, addiction recovery. It's very anti-aging. It's like the fountain of youth. It's like plugging your body into a charger. Injectable NAD Plus is the fastest charging cable instead of an old slow one. You guys, I take my NAD Plus injection though, and I need to sit down for like 10 minutes. I feel like I just ran a marathon. I feel it. I especially feel it in the place where I feel neurological distress from Borrelia. So in my cerebellum area, up and around my frontal brain, I love it. I love it. It does take some building up and getting used to, but I cannot say enough how much it has helped with energy, recovery. My personality is very energized as it is. This just like up 5 more notches. So love, love, love NAD plus. I love it for staying as youthful as I possibly can be. It's very protective of the telomeres within your cells too, which as you age, telomeres decrease and they say you can't get that back. With NAD plus, some studies are, I have to be careful how I say this because I feel like the FDA is already kind of cracking down on NAD plus. They don't want us getting our hands on it because it's so valuable and protective for the brain. So that's all I will say for that. You can do your own little digging, and I encourage you to do so. Thymosin alpha 1 for my chronically sick people. Wow, this is such a powerful one. Long haul COVID, chronic EBV, viral flare-ups in general. So it is so good for your heart health. It modulates and strengthens the immune system. It decreases inflammation, helps fight infections, supports resilience when you're dealing with chronic infections. This one is a game changer for people who need that immune system bump because their body is exhausted and has been working so hard for them every single day. Good job, body. You're doing such a good job. Let me give you a little bit of help. And then probably the most controversial one is tirzepatide. Tirzepatide is a dual action, so it has GLP-1 and GIP. I think that the dual action in a micro dose has been shown, I don't think this, the studies have shown that this tirzepatide in a micro dose versus just GLP-1 in a higher dose, it's creating much less stress within the body that the GLP-1 is doing and we're seeing issues with now. You're going to have nice snatched up appetite regulation. It's going to help with insulin sensitivity. So like PCOS, metabolic disorders, remember 8 out of every 10 people, 8.8 out of 10 people are dealing with metabolic dis-ease. it does supercharge your metabolism because of that hindrance. So you're going to see some fat loss, persevere. But with this one, with the dual action, you're seeing a preservation of lean muscle, which I think is really critical. If semaglutide is just helpful with one thing, this is helpful with two. Tirzepatide is helpful with two. And I think that when you're looking to lose weight and you're looking for an intentional way to do it, obviously this is a biohack that can be very helpful, but you have to do it in the appropriate way for your body. So I like the dual action of the tirzepatide. I like that it's in a micro dose, and I like that it's more controlled so that you can focus on lifestyle. And that's one thing that makes how we do it at Elevated different. And honestly, not everybody might like it, but you're not going to be floating off doing this on your own. You're going to be checking in with our nurse practitioner. You're going to be making sure your body is moving in the direction we want it to. One of my receptionists is stacking tirzepatide and CJC, and she is feeling like a queen for her metabolism, for her hormone balance, for her mental clarity and cognition, for her recovery. She's also been doing our superhuman protocol multiple times a week, every week since we've gotten it. And I just was talking to her today before I did this podcast. I'm like, how are you doing? And she's like, she also just repainted. She's the queen. She also just repainted all of our elevated space because we have a white space. Obviously, I love white. If you're watching this, you can see my white on white home in the background. Actually, funny little story about this. I have like a light white gray color and then white shiplap in here, and I'll explain that to the listeners. But my daughter came down once it was done, and she's like, "What color are we painting it?" I'm like, "This is the color." And she's like, "No, but what color?" I'm like, "This is it. It's white and then more white." She's like, "You are so lame." So my sweet receptionist went through, she repainted all of Elevated. It looks fantastic. I'm like, how are you doing? How are you feeling? She's like, if I would have done this before starting these peptides and the superhuman protocol, I would not have had the stamina to do this because it's a big location, like 5,000 square feet, you guys. She did it all. And she's like, I feel so good. I recovered so well. So I just think that is such a gift in and of itself to be able to recover what we feel like's been lost or stolen for us. That's a whole goal of Elevated. So you can stack them, just like I was saying. Athletes and active people, the CJC and the BCP 157, that's going to help repair, recovery, decrease soreness, decrease inflammation, help enhance your outcomes. Again, for my perimenopause, menopause, tirzepatide, CJC 1295, metabolism, hormone balance, gut people, because I know there's a lot of you listening, or injury, BCP 157 by itself is going to be such a game changer. Long haul, chronically sick, immunity focused clients, the thymosin alpha 1, so good. Longevity, high performance seekers, me, that's me. NAD plus. There isn't one perfect peptide for you, and maybe peptides aren't even for you, but I love, I'm always going to keep up with biohacks and ways to keep my body as healthy, robust, and resilient as I possibly can. And I love incorporating NAD. I just think that's probably why I've recovered so well from my births. I've been doing NAD in IVs and IMs since we got IVs and IMs at Elevated. I heard about NAD plus, and I just went down this rabbit hole of like, how can I protect my brain and my body as best as I possibly can in the most efficient amount of time? And so that's when I started NAD plus. So it's fun to have it now with these other peptides in a way that works for everybody. I think best practices for them though, you guys, like a lot of people when it comes to using them, maybe because they have a stigma, they'd rather just do it on their own, not seek a provider, post it on Instagram. Please like use caution and do this with a provider so that you're not getting contaminated ones, mislabeled. It's just like yucky, it's just like anything. Go through a licensed provider who's getting it with compounding pharmacies. Our peptides are 99% pure or greater. They're third-party tested, and I think that's so important. And always pair them with nutrition, movement, sleep, stress management. They're powerful, but they're not magic. You have to be working on your lifestyle as well. And I think a lot of people see the results that we're seeing on social media, and they're like, that's it. That's what I need. That's what I want for me. Easy. Thanks, Oprah. But you don't want to lose the most important things, which is your health, vibrance, and vitality. And so we really need to take a full body and a full lifestyle approach to this, as with any healing journey. So let's just quick recap. That's all I have for you today. Nice and easy. My podcast with you, I'm hoping will be a little shorter, a little more punchy. And then when I interview somebody, they're going to be longer and a little bit more in depth. So make sure you give me like, comment, rating, share this with someone you know and love. It means so much to me to be able to educate you guys. That's such a gift and my favorite, absolute favorite thing to do. So recapping, oral versus injection. Oral convenient, but not as strong. Injected, reliable, potent, and more research backed. Don't fear the needle. It's a little insulin needle. It's quick, simple, and effective. And another recap. Peptides themselves are naturally occurring and they're messengers within the body. They direct cells and actions within the cells to do what you want them to do. Is it performance, repair, recovery, healing, restoration? That just depends on what peptides you use or stack. So make sure that you are advocating for yourself and doing your own research, but seeking out professionals with things like that so you can make sure you're finding something that works well and intentionally for you, for your health, for your healing journey, so you're not wasting your time and money. In my opinion, time is even more valuable than money. So if you want to feel good, injectable recaps, injectable peptides, baby. That's the way to go. Thank you so much for joining me today on episode 2. I'm really excited on episode 3. We're going to dive right back into some hormone health and healing for men with Jenna. Men often get the short end of the stick, y'all. They matter too. So next week, grab your man, get ready to laugh a little because Jenna's so fun. Otherwise, have a blessed day.